Welcome to the show where we explore the who, what, where, how, and why of the extraordinary people who define our north of normal metro. I'm Conrad Fargo, and this is the Fargo Five. Today, we have Karen Stephanie Miranda Torrez, and that's one person. She is a senior at Concordia College, the co-chair of Professional UNIDOS FM. I don't speak Spanish, and the VP of the Entrepreneurship Club. Hello, Karen.
Hi, I'm really happy to be here. I hope we have a great time today. I'm ready for the questions.
I'm sure that we will. Well, for just a second, I'd actually like to focus on your name there. Well, first I'd like to say how I know you. So I know you from Sunette, if I'm saying that correctly.
Yes.
She does work over at Concordia, where you're a senior. So that's how you know her. Is she a teacher over there? Gosh, it's been a year and a half.
She's an advisor.
Advisor.
Yes. So if you go to Concordia and you are struggling understanding how to register or how to deal with your schedule, you go to Sunette and she will fix your life.
Okay. Yeah. And I reached out to her and I said, are there any amazing, interesting people who maybe I should talk to? And she said you. So she recommended you, and so we had you on the show. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding. You were expecting to come as a whole team of people, and I was like, well, it's actually a one-on-one.
I was ready to bring my whole band and bring a show.
and you know what? They're all welcome in time. But today I want to get the story of Karen. So the first thing I want to talk about is 4 names.
Yeah, well, in Latin America, it's super normal that you have 4 names because you have your first name. I think it's because of a battle, because everybody wants to chip in on choosing the name of the person. So my first name was chosen by my dad, and then I think my mom chose. I don't know how it works, but everybody has like first name, second name, and then we have 2 last names. So the first one is your father's last name, and then your mother's last name.
Okay, but then when you get married and you have kids, which one will their so?
Oh, I carry only my father's one.
Okay.
And that's the one I bring to my kids. So it's still a patriarchal system.
Sure. Well, it's got to be one or the other, right?
There's some representation, at least, of my family.
No, I think that's interesting. So my wife's Japanese, and so our kids have, we use the middle name to bring forward representation in that way. So they have a Western, one of their names is Western, the other is Japanese, but I like this idea with the 4 names, but why not 5 or 6? So it could just keep going, right? Like,
it is so confusing here because people, I think the default is that they choose the last name, and that's my mother's last name, and I'm not used to for that because Tórrez is my mom's side.
I would not have assumed that.
Yeah, so it's Karen Stephanie Miranda Torrez, but short is my first name and my first last name, so Karen Miranda. And that's another confusing thing because here Miranda is also a name.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, it's a first name. So it really, my wife was joking. She's like, "Oh, they did bring the whole band," because she saw because I print this off so I don't forget people's names.
Exactly,
on the show.
That's the whole representation.
My wife was like, "Oh, so it's 2 people after all." I was like, "No, that's one." I mean, Picasso has like 8 names. I don't know if you're aware. His like full name is Pablo Diego Jose Francisco de Paula Juan Nepomuceno Maria de los Remedios Caprina de la Santísima Trinidad Ruiz y Picasso.
That's for real?
That's
for real?
Yep, that's his full name.
Wow.
So I mean, it could be worse. It could
be worse. Actually, I think that was like olden times because the further you go back in your family, like my great grandma, she had like 6 names.
Yeah.
And the explanation I got was back at that time, if you were really Christian, very Catholic, you will get all the names of the saints that died on the day that you were born. I actually don't know.
Wow,
I didn't do my homework.
Yeah.
But it was more of a representation of their spiritual religion that you.
Well, and I think it's just broadly a Latin thing, and like Latin or Hispanic, so from the Italians through Spain to Mexico and all the islands around there.
It reminds me when you start reading the New Testament in the Bible and they just start like giving you a whole list of
like
names.
A genealogy,
Yeah, that was super important before, I guess. Before Tinder or Instagram or Facebook, I guess that's what people use.
Yeah, to try to understand, like, okay, who are you and what are you doing here? Now we have to have the internet and find new ways to know who everybody is. It's a nice modern problem. So now we kind of know who you are. I mean, basically a senior at Concordia, although you're co-chair of the Professionales UNIDOS FM. There's got to be a shorter way to refer to them.
It's just Profesionales Unidos.
Okay, it was sure.
Pro Unidos as well, because I think because of our social media, I gotten used to of just saying Pro Unidos.
Sure.
But it is Profesionales Unidos of Fargo Moorhead.
Uh-huh. And so what is that?
It's a group where, so Profesionales Unidos is an initiative of CASA. And CASA is a group that was created not long ago by a group of Latinos. That's actually the team that I was going to bring. So hopefully they will come later individually.
Absolutely.
Because they know more of the details of how it got created.
Yeah.
But basically, so CASA created this group of Latinos for Fargo Moorhead because the Latino population is growing, or at least it wants to get stronger.
Yeah.
And as an initiative of the whole community that was growing, I think it got so big that they started to make different groups, to organize better. And so Profesionales Unidos was born for that because we are more focused on career.
Okay.
So
what kinds of careers?
Every type of career. So we meet, usually is a Tuesday or a Thursday at 5 p.m. And we will, first of all, we'll meet between everybody because right now it's still a small group. But then we will start sharing where you come from and what you work at, what you want to work at in the future. And we've created a really nice network of every type of professional that you can possibly find.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yes.
Like you try to have that in your family, like a doctor and a lawyer and but we have that in our little community and it's getting bigger. So
obviously you need to speak Spanish though to be a part of this little group.
You don't need to speak Spanish. So the people who don't speak English are trying to learn the people who don't know English, are trying to learn English.
Yeah.
So if they come here and they listen to other people speaking English, they feel comfortable to try as well.
Yeah.
And then people who don't know Spanish come here because we switch every time, if somebody's not fully understanding, then we translate.
Yeah.
And I've gotten used to as well to be translating like live.
Yeah.
So I'll be saying something and then I'll do a little translation. So I'll say, bueno, hoy estamos aquí reunidos porque vamos a hablar de la comunidad. And I'll say, we are here meeting together because we want to get to know each other in the community. And that's how the meeting goes. And it's really fun. And we don't even notice at some point when we're bilingual nonstop the whole meeting.
Yeah. Foreign languages are a lot of fun. So like I said, I studied Japanese in college, and then I went to Japan, married a Japanese woman, so I speak a lot of Japanese in the home. And
do you do the characters as well?
Well, so that is kind of my problem. Is I got a whole A degree in Japanese, but I'm in fact functionally illiterate. So I can speak, or at least well enough for my wife to follow along. Not that she needs, because her English is better than my Japanese by a mile, but I can live in Japan, I can function in Japan, but I am illiterate. Because the gosh darn Chinese alphabet is so difficult.
Wait, so do they use the same Chinese alphabet?
Yeah.
So they call pinyin the.
Well, no. So pinyin is I believe is actually the Romanji is the Roman letters that what they use, the actual the Chinese characters themselves
translated into our alphabet.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but you say our alphabet. It's I believe it's not English in base. It's not the English who came up with the alphabet, right? Like where did the alphabet come? Certainly the numbers are Arabic, right? And the alphabet came from somewhere else. So like English is just this big hodgepodge, and most languages are. The Japanese language, so they've got their own words and sounds, but for writing, they borrowed from the Chinese.
Do they also, so in Japanese, when you're learning, do you also have to learn the pinyin is just like how you will pronounce it if you were still trying to read it.
Yep. And in Japanese, they call it romanji. Yeah. Or Roman, which is Roman alphabet, right? The alphabet is Roman. There you go.
That makes more sense.
The alphabet is Roman. You. Yeah. We're not English.
Where did pinyin come from?
No, pinyin is the Chinese. So that's what they call the romanji. That's when you use the alphabet. So pinyin is Chinese for Roman alphabet, I think. But in any case, the Japanese language has very few sounds, so they only got the 5 vowels: a, I, u, e, o, and they're just missing a whole bunch of consonant sounds, and that's why like it's always the joke that Japanese people pronounce their L's and R's incorrectly, and that's because they don't have 2 different sounds. They just have the one. They just have the one. They just have the one sound, rariruredo. And so, like, they don't have L or R. They have, like, some kind of hybrid sound. So there's just not very many sounds. So there's a whole ton of homonyms. There's a bunch of words that sound exactly the same. Homonyms. So if you were to just write down the Japanese word as it's spelt, you wouldn't have any context to be able to read it because there's no spelling because you can't tell. Like, so if I write down hashi, am I talking about chopsticks or am I talking about a bridge? Right? Like there's no way to know.
Symbols actually means
the symbol will help you, give you a clue for what it is. Yeah. Well, language is cool, and I love language, and so I tried to teach myself Spanish. Like I tried really hard for like 3 years on Duolingo.
What's your favorite word in Spanish?
No, I have forgotten all of it. I'm not able to like fit any of it in my head. Like I've got 2 languages in there, right? But it seems that I've got English and then foreign language. And so what would happen is whenever I would try to say something in Spanish, I would get going on the sentence, and as soon as I hit a roadblock, I would just switch to Japanese for no reason, and I couldn't fit the third language. I mean, so as somebody you're bilingual yourself, or how many languages do you speak?
Right now, fluent is just English and Spanish. Yeah. I am advanced in French, and I have a little bit of Chinese.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So then what's that like for you when you switching into, so what was your mother tongue? What did you grow up with? Was
Spanish
Espanol?
Until I was 18. Well, in Costa Rica, if you go to public school, you get English classes since primary school.
Yeah.
I think now they're starting in kindergarten, but usually since primary school until you graduate. And then in high school, in 9th grade, you can start learning French for 2 years. And then the last year, you can pick if you just want to focus on English or French.
Yeah.
I tried everything. And the area where I grew up is really poor. So that's bad for a lot of things, but also is good because the government had a lot of really good programs, and all of the good programs came first to the most
impoverished.
Exactly, the people who needed it the most. So I got great education. Like I learned to play a lot of instruments, and I got to learn Chinese with actual, like it was Chinese college girls that will come to volunteer to Costa Rica and go to the beach every day, but they will really be, I think I learned more English in my Chinese class because she didn't know anything else but Chinese and English. Yeah. And so we were she was explaining something and we were confused, but we couldn't ask. So we were like, she knows English, so somebody try. And we all got together to make a question so we can learn Chinese. That was awesome.
But that working together and that struggling, that's what helps push the language in. Yeah. And I think that was my biggest problem, as I tried to learn Spanish, is that I had nobody to speak it with. So like I tried to put something together. So let me back way up. I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties. And like, one of the biggest moving parts in real estate is frankly just knowing people. And so I do a lot of networking. So you talk about networking. I do a ton of networking just to try to get to know people. And in fact, it doesn't need to be about anything specific. I started a networking group just about Japanese, to do Japanese language, Japanese culture, stuff like that. It did very well. I met a lot of people, made a lot of friends, very close friends to this day. We dropped that, but I tried to replicate that as I was learning Spanish because I was like, I want to learn Spanish. Let's put something together. I tried to start something. I couldn't get much traction. And of course, I'm not at a university, and so I don't have, that. And also, I don't speak the language. But what I found, as I did try to pull people together and try to build like around Hispanic culture is one, I guess each of them don't all necessarily get along so well, like the Mexicans and the Costa Ricans and the South Americans and the European Spaniards. Like, can you tell me a little bit about that? Because it sounds like that's what you guys are doing with Casa.
Yes, definitely. So one funny thing I realized ever since I left Costa Rica, because before coming to the U.S., I went to a boarding school in Germany for international students.
Okay.
Those 2 years, I didn't. At that point, the only English I knew was to say, "Hi, my name is Karen. I love pizza."
Okay.
And that's definitely not enough to go to a high school with a bunch of A-type students.
Yeah.
But I was not the only one learning English from scratch. And the crazy thing I found out was like, all the Latinos came together, and all these international schools, I can put my hand into fire to say, all international schools have a Latino table. All international schools, they will have the Latino table because it's the only time we can rest and stop translating and can finally tell jokes. Okay. But the thing is, still, we speak Spanish, but we couldn't communicate freely because we have our slang, we have our accent. I remember back at the time I would use a lot of my slang, and mine is also mixed with Nicaraguan. My roots, my family, my blood all was Nicaraguan. Like, I eat Nicaraguan food, we use Nicaraguan slang in my house, so I've been trained for this my whole life. So I will speak in Nicaraguan in my house, and then go outside and quickly switch because, in between kids, like, they will not necessarily welcome other accents, but that is so real. Like, we will I can identify where exactly from Latin America you're from just by saying hi.
Yeah.
Maybe not just by saying hi, but just having 3-word conversation. I know exactly what country you come from.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of barriers when you come out here in another country that you're also trying to survive on your own and learn English on your own.
Yeah.
Because there is the first generation Latinos, and then there is people who grew up here. So Latinos who grew up here, they have their own culture. They have their own accent. They have their own hybrid. They know very well the culture in here, but they're not fully from here. So they have their own identity that we cannot expect them to know every type of struggle from actually coming from Latin America, but they also have other type of things that I didn't grow up with being ashamed of speaking Spanish. Now I'll come to the table and say my phrases, and if I don't know, like you were saying before, what do you do when you start mixing your languages? Just say it. Just say it. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they can ask, and then you can try to mimic the translation, because that's what you end up doing. Yeah. You end up doing like almost your own sign language. But you start learning by context. Also, at some point you learn that there is words that have no translation. There is no point of trying to find one. One good example, and I still try to do this to this day. In Spanish, I speak a lot in idioms.
Okay.
I will say sayings. I'll bring up sayings that will explain. Like the first time I understood that the sayings could not be translated was with once in a blue moon. In English, you say that, right?
Yeah.
In Spanish, our version for that is una vez cada muerte de obispo, once a pope dies.
Once a pope dies.
Yeah. And once I was in the middle of a conversation, I was I'm Latina. I'm exaggerating things. I'm bringing explicit sound effects.
Yeah.
And there comes the end or the punchline, and I had to say it. I said my best way to say it was I translated it, and I said, once a pope dies or something like that. I don't know how exactly I said it in the moment. And the table was like,
you went there.
Yeah. And they were like, what? So I was like, okay. I've had this feeling before. We're going to pause and you got to explain me what did I just say? What did I mean to you? Well, yeah. And that's how I started to explain it, because they asked, like, what does that mean? And I said it like, everyone's a pop day. It's like every like 300
and this was in English that you said it, not another. Okay.
It was in English, and there was other people. Like, I think there was one Latino, but it was like mixed. It was people from every place.
And is that a Costa Rican Spanish euphemism, or just a Spanish euphemism?
I think it's a literature thing. Okay. I think it's very present in literature, and that's how kind of like everybody knows it. Is also a lot of on TV shows.
Yeah, well, because even the different Spanish speaking people would have their own Spanish euphemisms that might not translate correctly. I'm thinking of, like, even maybe an accessible analogy would be the difference between British English and American English, right? Like, to them, it's not an apartment, it's a flat. It's not a cigarette, it's they call it something else,
and
right?
So confusing. You're trying to. I respect people who's trying to learn Spanish. Because if we have the issue with English, I think even though it has a lot of diversity, I think there's enough representation in media, enough that people is kind of aware. Even if you're not from here, you've seen Disney enough that you kind of get the jokes or inside references of older movies, or when the movies were black and white. I will hear a lot of people referencing Casablanca. And I was like, what is Casablanca? What is Breakfast at Tiffany's? And just like hear those references, I would be lost. But now, like, I understand, that's an idiom. And I like idioms. I should, and now I watch the movies and I am obsessed. I am obsessed with things like that. So, yeah.
So you're the co-chair of Pronido, but that's also part of CASA. So you're also working with CASA, or not so much?
I participate in CASA, but if I do any work, I'm just the staff of Professional UNIDOS, and then CASA has its own.
And are there other groups within CASA then? Like, so there's more there. Obviously, you split out because there were so many of you, right? So there must be other ones.
It's not so much of a split out. We're just like an extension, and I do think they're coming up with other initiatives.
Multiple arms, yeah.
Yeah, because we're trying to, because if we're trying to work for everybody, then it's not for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, we're not targeting anybody, and nothing is really thought through for specific audiences. So.
Well, like I said, for help with my Spanish, I mean, I'd love to try to pick it back. Again, I'm super rusty. Like, I don't even want to try off the top of my head on live radio, like, because I just, like, nothing comes to mind, in fact, which is the problem, right? I would love, like, if there was some kind of an arm that was like a big brother, little brother kind of thing to, like, pair people up, because there's got to be a lot of people in CASA then who are trying to master their English skills.
Yes.
Right? And you could pair them with people who are trying to master their Spanish skills, like
definitely.
Myself.
That's why we're trying to do this even in our socials and our online publications.
Yeah.
We're trying to put always like the translation.
Yeah.
It's taking time because we're trying to do it right in every platform.
Well,
but
how can I help? Who do I need to talk to? Are you the one? Should you and I are going to be in touch?
We want more people coming to the meetings, not just Latinos. We want locals, because the Latinos are, especially if it's a new Latino, they don't have family here. They don't have a special school.
So I'm officially invited.
You are officially invited, explicitly invited. You are forced to. No, I'm kidding. You should definitely come, and anybody that wants to practice Spanish, practice English, you should come.
Yeah.
Especially if you love business.
Yeah.
Like, if you love business specifically, Profesionales Unidos, that's our topic. But if you just want to get into the culture, CASA, it's always organizing parties, in a way, like a family party. They will have entertainment. We will have people who prepare something for the kids. We'll bring food. I dance and I teach people how to dance.
Me gusta bailar.
Yes, excelente. Vio, hay que salir a bailar, salir a moverse, gente, por favor. This is exactly what I want. I love this space. Thank you so much. And Sunet is always my angel, not just in Concordia. Thank you, Sunet. I pray for you every night. But this is exactly the space. And if there is somebody who will understand, not just not laugh, but understand the pain of trying to say something and not knowing how to, we are the community for you.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I think that's great. I think there's a lot of ground to cover in the future. I'm going to personally be in touch because I find this, like I said, I was very interested in this, and so I think it's kismet that maybe it all came together. I'd like to know a little bit more about, because this is the show about you, and we can talk more Casa and more Pronido and have your other teammates on another time.
Especially Carla.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yes, because they know what's coming up. I don't want to spill anything that I'm not allowed to. But absolutely. We have been working the whole summer on this. That's why we have not been super active in activities, because we've been deep into planification.
Yeah.
So watch out for our social media because we are posting more things. We have more information about that. We also have, oh yes, please. We have a contest for Latino artists. You don't have to be a full artist. You just need to draw something, even if it's your kid. We just want something Latino made that can be put in our merchandise, because we're making hoodies and we're making mugs, and we want to have a design that I did not copy and paste from Google or Canva. I want, even if you do it in Canva or you use AI, I just want to say this was made by a Latino.
A Latino.
That's
it.
So
made in the USA by a Latino.
By
there
a
you
Latino.
go.
It's Latino made. The essence
Latino made in the USA. Very good. I want to know more about, so you seem interested in business because you're also the vice president of the Entrepreneurship Club. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I have been always passionate about business because I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
My mom is super artistic, and she will find a way to make a business out of anything, or she just have a bunch of ideas to solve problems. And my dad, he is an entrepreneur at heart. He has always been since he was a kid. And I grew up just seeing the magic of selling something so well, like he will know the good and bad of this thing so well that people, and absolutely. He will say, even if he didn't work, you come back, you look for me, and then I will find you something better.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a culture, it's a personality, it's a mindset. And that grew on me as a tool that I noticed in every family that I grew up around with. That ability to use the resources that you have to achieve your goals. Even if it's little resources, a lot of resources, no resources, everything is in here. You already have what you need to get done what you want to get done.
Why entrepreneur? So for the listeners at home, how would you describe the difference between entrepreneurship or just having a job? Like what's the difference here? Why entrepreneurship?
I think a job is something that you do because somebody already said so, or it has been done so many times that is there. You just have to come and keep it going.
Yeah.
But an entrepreneur sees everything in the bigger picture and the smaller picture, and is just seeing the gaps, or if we can make it faster, or if we can make it more efficient, or we're just doers. We wanna get things done in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I think it's for people who are very intense. I'm super intense. I'm intense. I want to go to bed every night knowing that I did the absolute maximum I could.
Yeah.
Like I no regrets.
Yeah.
Like even if it went down because it had to, because I did literally everything I could to not.
For the way I describe it, so and I'm what you would describe as a serial entrepreneur, and I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I do work for the Small Business Development Center out of M-State. So I work with small business owners every day and help them start their business. And I already told you that I'm a realtor. I do both residential, commercial. I also have a bookkeeping business, a cleaning business, an Airbnb. I do a handful of things. So the way I would describe it is it's an issue of almost power and control, right? But with power comes responsibility, right? And employment, and so it's just about relationships, the relationships that you have with yourself and the relationship you have with the income that's coming into you, right? And so when you're an employee, you kind of take for granted that you're being taken care of. Like somebody shows up every day and says, this is what's going to happen and this is how you're going to get paid. And like the answers are, I think you said that the answers are provided for you, right? Whereas entrepreneurship is just constantly like the
questioning.
And because the buck stops with you,
exactly.
Right? Like things don't come in, then too bad for you, right? But
it's also because having you notice that from every point that I see it, even if I see it from my religion, which is I will read the Bible or I will see history at class and I will hear people advising. I will see just people around me. Don't you see the pattern? Because everything, I feel like it's a cycle and you get to pick which role you get. You get to pick.
Tell me more about that. How do you mean?
For example, I'll talk about my background. For example, I grew up around poor people for a lot of reasons, for mindset, for scarcity in the culture, for disasters that happen and they could never get back on, or they were sick, or for whatever reason, or they were just in inconvenient relationships. Those are patterns too. And if you are always just like accepting everything and not questioning what you're being told to do, you kind of believe it because it's everywhere. You're like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm meant to do. No, absolutely no. I have a TV in my house.
Yeah.
I watch many other things that I was curious about. And then as soon as I will get into a bus or I'll go to church, I will talk to people and I will see like there is so much diversity. And we do come with a kit, like a survival kit, like you'll be put in a family or in a country in a situation. But we all have fairly kind of the same skills. We all have a brain, we have a pair of eyes. Even if you don't, you do have a choice to some extent.
Yeah.
And if you don't make use of, even if it's a little bit of a choice that you have, it's going to be taken away.
Absolutely.
It's going to be taken away. Your talents are going to be taken away. Your opportunities are going to be taken away if you don't do the most with them. Mm-hmm. Those examples are everywhere, I feel like.
So tell me about this Entrepreneurship Club. Like, what is it? Where is it? Who's all in there? Tell me.
Well, it's the Entrepreneurship Club at Concordia. The president is Jordan Patron, and we have a larger team. I think we have new members this upcoming semester, so we'll be updating on that. But it's a group of students at Concordia that are also passionate about entrepreneurship, and we try to take it very seriously as soon as we can. Last year, I remember we had this event where we search for entrepreneurs in our campus, and then we organized this whole thing where they get a prize of a nice investment for them to keep growing their business. So we're trying to inspire people. We get in contact with alumni of Concordia who are already entrepreneurs and bring them in, and they have to tell their stories, and it's more impactful because it's somebody who walked in the same classrooms as you did, or had the same dreams, or so that is a secret that we've been I think I've been noticing in all entrepreneurs. You have to find what is our common ground so we can make a bridge and then keep on making business. You have something to offer, I have something to offer, and we exchange. And that's what we're trying to bring up at Concordia. which is already there. Like even before I was part of this club, I would see posters in the bathrooms or in the hallways of people in Concordia trying to pay their bills and making something, like girls making nails, people, I don't know, like other business. And so it's a need that was already there, has always been there. And we are a small group that is passionate to do it a little bit more, go a little bit deeper on it. Like going on a large scale. And at least that's the ambition that we have.
Absolutely.
So if you go to Concordia, or if you do also participate at the Startup Brew in Fargo, we also participate at those. And those are hotspots where you can find definitely, if not an entrepreneur, just talented beings that are ready to get things done.
So you joined these two organizations through Concordia. Yeah. So I guess maybe peeling the onion back a little bit, why Concordia? Where you were in Germany at one time. So as far as I understand it, the story, you're born in Costa Rica. You saw the poverty around you. You wanted to work up out of that, be independent-minded like your father. And you took some opportunities to learn language because they came to your area. You end up in Germany somehow, right? And then something, Concordia? Like, help us. We've got about the show. We've got maybe another 10, 15 minutes left. We've been going for 40 minutes, if you can believe it.
No, it's perfect. So the boarding school that I went to is called United Work Colleges. Write it down because they're actually they're opening applications right now. These are the months.
United Work Colleges?
Yes.
And what is that?
UWC. Currently, there is only 18 campuses around the world.
Oh,
in Latin America, yes.
It's like a global thing.
Yes.
Okay.
In Latin America, the first one was in Venezuela. Then things happened. It got closed. And now the only one left is in Costa Rica. And they're building a new one in Colombia right now.
So this is like an international...
Yes. The one in EU...
like an NGO kind of a thing?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It started after the Second World War by a German professor that was absolutely convinced that the way to prevent something like that happening again was to bring in people from all the backgrounds to solve problems using their background. And I think they nailed it.
Okay.
I think they nailed it.
Okay.
And so that, the one in the U.S. is in New Mexico, and then it's a bunch around the place. And so these colleges, United Work Colleges, they have a list of 99 colleges in the U.S. Sponsored by Davis Foundation, and his foundation pays for any UWC scholar that is accepted in any of those 99 universities. There is a bunch of there's Ivy Leagues, there is like small private schools, there's some community colleges in there, like state universities, but most of them are private, and there's some really good schools in there. And I have friends from my campus all over those places as well. And there's a big UWC community at Concordia.
Okay, so that's where you went to university.
Yes.
And then...
No. Okay, so it's called colleges, but it's a high school.
Okay.
Because I think U.S. is the only country that calls university colleges. Like in Spanish, high school is colegio.
Okay.
I think that's where it comes from.
Well, and I think high school was originally... Yeah, I mean, that tracks because it's the high school. It was supposed to be like, that's enough. And then we just kept like piling on the institutions. So where did you go to Germany, or Germany was the UCW? Or
no, like the person
how did you end up in Germany, and then how did you end up in UCW, and then how did that move? Like I'm confused on how those those steps go. Like are these things that kept happening to you, or after talking to you, I imagine these are things that you made happen.
Oh, I know,
by just
definitely.
grabbing.
I have been participating in extracurriculars consecutively since I'm in second grade.
Yeah.
So if you have no resources and want to excel and make sure you're taken care of in college, participate in every single thing that comes your way.
Now, when you say college, are you talking high school again?
No. Okay. Since primary school, since you can walk.
Yeah, yeah.
Like participate and get experiences in as much things as you can. Like my main things were arts and politics and other like I participated and applied to many scholarships. You have no idea. Like if you really want, I have a collection. That's my most precious thing that I bring with me everywhere I go, is the collection of certificates of participations since I'm alive, I guess, of how hard I've been trying. Like I've tried so much, and eventually something kicks in.
Okay.
Something kicks in.
Try a lot of things, keep what works.
Yeah, and the way I got the opportunity was because I was a known go-getter at my town, and one of my neighbors, her son went to this school like a little bit before that I went to high school, and then they met. Like we moved there and we met. And she asked my mom for my 15th birthday. She asked my mom if she, as a gift, could take me to the open day at the university campus in Costa Rica, in the capital city, which was like 4 hours away from my house. My mom said yes, and I have to. My parents are very strict, so I always add that because it was a big thing. Like they asked for my permission to go away from my house for a day or more. No, that was a big deal. So. And it was awesome. I went to the campus and I saw the activities, and I remember thinking, this is it.
This is it.
2 years after, I was in Germany. It took 2 years. Like, I think I could have applied back then. But first off, I didn't know that I was already at the age. And second of all, I'm so grateful because those 2 years I used to, I think I already had enough things to prove that I was a go-getter.
Yeah.
But I was missing a couple of things that I knew I needed to survive that. Because if you go watch the videos, like we do International Baccalaureate. That's a program, a little bit well known. IB program will crush your soul. And we did it before AI. So I think it deserves respect for the young children out there.
Type it with your two hands like some kind of crazy person.
Yeah. Who does that? No, I'm kidding. But no, it was awesome. And guess what? My school, my little Bagaces high school, had a little bit pilot program with the IB. Of course, we didn't have the resources. We didn't have professors that were as well trained as it was in Germany. The chemistry professors was one of the authors of the book that sells internationally to all schools that use that program. Are you kidding me? We are here with the OGs.
Yeah.
And I was there saying, hi, my name is Karen, I love pizza. It was so humbling. Humbling. I couldn't even ask questions. It was so bad.
But you didn't give up. You kept going.
Give up. I will never give up. What do you mean? I have nothing to lose, everything to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So applying to a lot of things, I got the opportunity. When it was time, I applied. It was 6 months of application. We were 700 applicants, and we were only 14 accepted.
Wow.
And with scholarship.
Yeah. So top 2%. That was you.
Of the country. You have right here. No,
that took you to
Germany.
To Germany.
And there I also I tried my best. Of course, I couldn't excel in the things that I was used to at excelling.
Yeah.
But I have my thing.
Yeah.
So of course that's where I remember before leaving Costa Rica. This is a dirty secret that I'm gonna share just because it's your show. I used to hate reggaeton.
What's that?
Reggaeton. Latinos know what I'm saying. You know Bad Bunny?
Bugs Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Are these artists? Are you saying artists? I'm 40 years old.
Okay.
I'm 40 years old. I don't know who anybody is.
Bad Bunny is really popular right now because he's from Puerto Rico. He sings reggaeton, you know, the song
I don't know what that is.
That girls will shake and break their back and go down, you know, like
I don't know. I'm a 40-year-old man with 3 children. I don't know these things. This is well beyond my scope. But
for all the other 40-something at home, Bad Bunny has broke history. Broke history?
Has broken history. Okay.
Bad Bunny has broken history because
he
made history because I think he's not just one of the top artists right now that has been breaking records, but he has been consecutive for a long time. I mean, as a Latino, that's a big thing. And right now he's making a big move because instead of going on world tour, he said specifically, if you don't come to Puerto Rico, I'm not gonna sing for you.
Wow.
So he's just doing his world tour in Puerto Rico right now.
Refuses to fly anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. He's bringing things home, and I appreciate him so much for that. So yeah.
Why did we bring him up?
I thought it was necessary. It was necessary. I had to talk about Bad Bunny.
Oh, no. What I want to try to understand is how it is from the Germans, you end up coming all the way over to I mean, Fargo is full of Germans. I'm Klinkhammer. I'm German. You know,
really?
I'm
it haunts me. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry about that.
No. I remember. I think my favorite word in German is Schlager, which is a type of music that I didn't care for when I was there. Yeah. But now I hear it and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fargo is full of Norwegians, Germans, and Russians. Like that, and Swedes. Like that. That's what kind of makes up the culture around here. I would say, like, it's just very northern European in culture. So
a lot of the buildings at Concordia are in Norwegian names that I, for the life of me, I cannot pronounce.
Yeah.
I end up making Spanish versions or abbreviations
because you go from Northern European to Northern United States, like you can't escape the Europeans. But what is it? I still don't know that it's clear. Like, what is it that
when I was applying, when it came to the time to apply to colleges, you get to pick.
You were already in UCW though, which is high school. That's more of a high school.
Yeah, it is high school. Yeah.
And then, like, for university, you decided to leave Europe and come back to Fargo, North Dakota? Like, where does that... Like, had you ever come here before?
No. God, if I would have known the weather.
But you stuck it out?
Yeah.
Because you never give up.
I'm not a quitter.
So, and that's... Look, people complain about the weather, but honest to God, I say it like a joke, it's our immigration policy. You must be this tough to live here. Right?
Man.
And so, like, imagine it's a filter.
If that was a requirement for a visa, nobody will come here. Just saying.
No, it's a good, I think it's a good filter, and it's kind of, I'm not even, like, low-key, it's the reason I stay. Like, one, it kills all the bugs, and two, it sends away all the losers. Like, everybody in this metro is pretty cool and tough.
It's pretty tough.
And you talk about entrepreneurship. I always joke, we have the lowest unemployment rate and the lowest employment rate. Because while not many people are unemployed, many people are self-employed. Like, this town is just full of hustlers who are just out there making it. It sounds like you're one of us.
Yeah, maybe that's why
So you're complaining
here.
About the cold, but it made you one of us. You are one of us.
And just FYI for all locals, you have my respect.
Yeah.
If you grew up, just needed to say that, but
it ain't beaches and sunshine.
No. Well, I do appreciate the lack of bugs.
Yes.
Because back home, I could feel like flying away on mosquitoes.
No, and that's the thing. Like, and I like even like nope. And that, I mean that yes. Like,
it's like you know what was crazy for me? I was so used to back home. There's even people who put the sugar in the fridge because it's crazy. You cannot leave it, even your kids unattended. They will fly away. Like a bunch of ants is gonna take him, or I don't know, mosquitoes. Like everything, it's alive everywhere. But
why Fargo? Like what? Just like
it was. Man,
you must have had more than one choice, right? Like why?
Fully, because you have to remember, it's all on me. Like, I don't have means for anything else. Yeah. So, and the only two good options.
But you could have landed at MSU. I mean, Concordia is a little bit more.
It's not part of the list. You have to remember, is a list.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
It's a list of colleges that will for sure, for security reasons, will have. There's already a team, and there's usually already alumni from UWC. So you're trying to look for your family. Because also, like, if you come here and it's your first time in the U.S., like I was, the culture is it's a huge shock, and you do need, like, a team that can translate it to you specifically. Yeah. But more so, so I applied to 10 out of this 99 colleges. And then the two best options that I had that I was looking for a small campus. I was looking for a good business program or potentially good connections or something. And I wanted it because it was known for us that colleges that were part of this list that were new into the program will be better in the way. It will be a little bit dangerous because kind of you're being the test, you're being the experiment.
Yeah.
But also, it's the best opportunity for starting things. And I love starting traditions. I love living my little...
So you're the first UCW at Concordia?
I'm one of the first. One of the first. Concordia is fairly new.
You found that attractive. You just
I find that attractive.
Blaze new.
Yeah.
Come and... The new world.
Yeah.
Show. Okay, very cool.
And then specifically, so then I had interviews with these two colleges that were similar, and they were offering me full ride. Yeah. And then I think, oh my God, I find it funny, but for some people, they look at me like I shouldn't say that, but for me, it was two things. The people who I interviewed with, the admissions team was awesome. Like they had a great energy, and they were very transparent in all my questions. And second of all, and I think that's why I chose Concordia over the other one, which was basically similar. It was Colonel.
It was what?
It was Colonel, the mascot.
The mascot.
Concordia.
You just like the mascot more.
It's hilarious. Don't you want to say to your kids that you went to a college that the mascot was a corn? There is a cornfield at the back of my house back home too.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's a sign.
Just because the mascot is corn. Yes, I see.
It's my favorite thing. I think it's in my LinkedIn profile.
And you're like, that's too silly. Like, that's too ridiculous.
It is.
And then NDSU is like, people don't realize bison are just feral North American cows. Right, so like it's the South Park high school is called the Cows, and that's the joke. That's literally the other one. And so it's like,
my God.
It's like so like the dragons are cool, MSU Dragons, but then like either you're corn or a cow, right? Like it's very. I love this town.
Exactly. For me, it was hilarious. I was like, no,
and you either vibe with that or you don't.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, and you vibed with it.
I do vibe with it, and I enjoy whenever there's an event where they have to come up with Colonel. I want to make a specific request to Concordia. I want Colonel to have different outfits.
Okay. Colonel is the name of the mascot.
I want Colonel on a suit. Is that too much to ask? I would love to
have
see.
Him suit up. Time to suit up.
Yes. Yeah. Who doesn't love a corn in a suit? Are you kidding?
All right. Well, that is all the time for Corn in a Suit that we have. It's time to get out of here. You chose Shine by Cleo Sol, who I'm sure is also a record-breaking, history-making, whatever. I don't know. You want to tell us a little bit about that song and why you chose that?
Sometimes I put Spotify on shuffle,
sure.
And then I just get obsessed. Yeah. It's been like afterwards, maybe I save a song and then I don't like it anymore and then it's gone. But this one sticks.
It's a beautiful time to be alive. Lots of music. Before we get out of here, then, I want you to plug yourself. If somebody says to themselves, gosh, I like that Karen. I want to talk to her. I want to know more about her. I want to reach out to her. How can they do that? How should they try to know you?
You should definitely follow me on social media and on LinkedIn. I am Karen Miranda on LinkedIn, and I am Karen21.cr on Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome. And of course, I'm Conrad Fargo. You can find me anywhere. You can type in Conrad and Fargo. Karen, have you ever heard of, it's kind of a niche website just getting started, Amazon.com? If you go there and you type in Conrad and Fargo, do you know what happens?
What happens?
I'm there.
Oh my God.
I'm there. You can get me into your ear holes every week. So go anywhere, go on to anything. Just if it's got a pad, type in Conrad Fargo, like, share, subscribe. Karen, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Adios.
Goodbye. Adios.